back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I'm your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is
Adam, and I play Jules and Azure Ketty Bard.
Joel, I play Dax, a Kobold the Rogue, I think.
I'm Ryan. I play Tough, an automaton inventor.
Terran, a human paladin.
Yeah, I think that's right. Last time. Do you guys remember what happened last time?
Well, also, I think Terran didn't even say his
little bit.
character name. I think.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he did.
You just said I'm Terran and I played.
I guess I'll have to listen
I
to
said
it.
paladin
playing
instead of champion
himself?
too.
Also,
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh gosh, they're gonna get
I
us.
think I
Cut that!
missed
Cut that!
a
Cut
lot
that!
of
Cut
that.
that!
Alright.
I feel like we're
Someone's
playing
gonna be like, I thought Waltz was a
Rule
champion
Master
this whole
or
time.
Question
Surprise! The big twist.
Yeah, last time on Mortals and Portals, the party was flying thanks to Tough. Tough had these
Thanks, Duff.
ethereal
Yeah, thanks a lot,
little
Tough.
orbs floating around him. You weren't flying very fast, and you were very eager to get to Ciudad de la Nubes, and eventually you ascended through the clouds, and you could kind of see it on the horizon. It was nighttime, and the city was silhouetted against the moon, and you felt like you were almost there, but then suddenly two kitsune on hippogriffs started to flank you and yell at you in Elder, but you don't know how to speak that, and it seemed like they were saying like a code word or something you needed to respond to. And basically you guys told them like, hey, we're friends with Renard and all this stuff, and then that turned out to be the worst thing you could have said. And then they pulled out these guns from Dracus that Dax recognized to be like Voshek weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't seem to be too skilled with them, but they were very powerful rifles. They started shooting at you, trying to knock you out of the sky. And you guys all ganged up on the gold kitsune. You called him Goldilocks, and just started like annihilating him. So then the silver kitsune, who you guys I'd realized when you were listening like to the audio version, you were calling this Silver Fox, which I really like because it makes it sound like he's like a handsome old man.
Yeah.
Goldilocks and the Silver Fox. Dang, it's too bad they're gonna die. Like definitely.
Goldilocks
unusable.
decided to hold you guys off so that the Silver Fox could get to Ciudad de la Nubes and alert whoever the other people are that are holding up the city. So he started flying off. You guys annihilated the gold kitsune, and then realized there's no way you could catch the silver one because Tough flies super slow.
What
And
the
then
heck, dude?
fortunately, Smith showed up, and he seemed very eager to catch the other hippogriff. And Waltz like forced his way out of the floating orb and then landed on Smith. And then Smith was basically waiting for one more person. Jules said he would go, but then Tough said, no, I love you or something. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know why you did that, Tough. You just want to hang out with your bro. And you said, screw Dax, send Dax. And then you released Dax, and then he fell on to Smith. And then Waltz and Dax chased down the hippogriff. Dax was shooting his ice ray, and Waltz was, giving him something to rest his arm on. You guys are doing a really cool tag team. Shot the guy down, it looked like, and then he crash landed into the forest on the fringes of the floating city. And you weren't sure if you killed him, and you contemplated for a while, like maybe there's an ambush, we shouldn't follow him. But then decided there's too much to lose if he is alive, because your job gets infinity harder if he alerts everybody that you're there and everyone knows you're coming. So he decided it's worth the risk, and Waltz and Dax flew into the forest. And that is where we ended our session. So that's about where we will start our session. Though, real quick, we'll just check in with Jules and Tough and Zoki, who are floating. Can you all roll me a perception check?
I know what you're doing, Zach. I know what these perception checks actually mean.
Ooh, what are they?
I'm gonna fight someone, of course.
It's a 19 for old Julesy.
15 for young Tuffy.
How young is Tough?
Cut that. I don't know.
All right, Tough, you're still very concerned with maintaining flight, especially with all this action and commotion going on. When you got hit by the rifle before and realized you almost dropped everyone, you start to take this even more seriously than you were. So you kind of just see Smith fly off into the distance, lose sight of him a bit as you're focusing. And then Jules, you were very thrown off by the fact that Tough didn't release you. You were very invested in that moment. so you maintain razor focus, and you see roughly where Smith flew, kind of into a forest on the fringes of the city. After a while, he becomes too small to really see, but you feel like you at least have a bearing on where you would want Tough to fly and the last known position of where they're at. So you're not exactly sure if they went into the trees, but you know roughly where they may be. Zoki, who now has her bearings a lot more, she was shooting that bow and everything. She's starting to get the hang of bouncing around in this orb. She calls out to Tough, "Come on, can't you pick up the pace? We're gonna lose them."
Zoki, I told you last episode. Shut up. I'm going as fast as I can.
Episode? I didn't know you could break the fourth wall.
I do what I want, Zoki.
We'll see if
Zach,
Joel
you
cuts
shut
us
up
out,
too.
and then it won't count. And then she yells out to Jules, "Did you see where they went?"
Yes, they went somewhere over there. And I'll point in the general direction. I can't tell if they landed or not, but I suppose we could get a closer look.
Well, at the very least, Smith is smart enough to meet up with us. They should be fine.
Tough,
What?
why didn't you let me go?
I don't have time to explain now. I'll tell you later.
Very well.
Yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense. I don't think I've ever seen Waltz attacks on Smith before.
I know, I'm long-range combat.
Look, there's something I gotta tell you, but it requires a lot more thinking than I'm capable of right now, and I'm just focused on whoa, and I'll like kind of drop us a little bit.
Crap.
All right, enough. I get it. We'll talk later.
Yeah, back to the quiet game now.
Yeah, just get us to the forest.
I look at Zoki and roll my eyes.
All right, Tough, so you continue flying towards the city, bringing Zoki and Jules along with you, and with that, we'll cut back over to Waltz, Dax, and Smith as Smith glides below the tree line, skids to a stop in the brush in this dense forest. It's very tall trees where they don't have like a lot of branches on them until it gets pretty high up, so it's just a lot of like spaced out tree trunks. I don't really know how to describe that. Hopefully you're visualizing what I'm describing here. Honestly, what I'm picturing is like the Forbidden Forest and the Sorcerer's Stone, where like the way the trees were kind of like in that with like a little bit of fog in there, if that helps you.
I'm
So
just
if
picturing
anyone needs to
Potter's
take a
Head.
break,
dead unicorn.
yeah, if we all need to take a break and just put in our VHS copies of Sorcerer's Stone real quick, you can rewind and then we can all
Yep.
watch
I
that.
have the
and then we're on the same
Philosopher's
page.
Stone version. Is that the same?
That's the
Ooh.
British version, so the British
only have
accents are heavier in that
Laserdisc.
one. Yeah, but
All right.
we'll see.
He's going to sacrifice himself.
When I make my move, you're free to take the cane.
And that's the second time we've made that reference. In this
I know.
You've got, if you're at that part, you're
Such a
too
good
far. You have to go back.
Not me, not Hermione. Yo.
All right. And now that all of our British listeners have turned the episode off, we can continue.
We had just regained their trust too from last
That's
time.
right. So yeah, you dismount from Smith, and can you all roll me a perception check?
You bet.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm on it too.
Not you.
That's Oh, sorry.
Oh.
You
See,
said you all.
Adam, we're at the part where Zach doesn't let me play anymore, so it could be a while.
Well,
I got
actually,
the
yeah, Adam, you can roll. I
perception.
forgot. It's
Hey,
just Ryan that can't.
Hey,
Okay,
everyone
great.
shut up. Everyone shut up. I got a nat 20, guys.
Oh, Tear Bear.
Well, that's interesting how that works because I got a nat 1,
Oh, dang.
Oh,
Dang.
Joel
That's all right,
Bear.
Joel. Better luck next time.
which is an 11 in my case.
Dax, you like hop off of Smith first and land like very low to the ground and start trying to scan the tree line, but then Waltz climbs off and just stands like right in front of you, and you just see like his massive body like completely blocking your vision. And Waltz, you just
come on,
zero in
move.
on your surroundings, and you see like a trail through the forest floor from like where the hippogriff might have landed, and it's even got some like frost along it remaining from Dax's ice beam. And then you follow that, and then a ways off with their back up against a tree, you see the silver fox kitsune, who has his back up against the stump and is riling around in pain.
I'll just squint and point right there, Daxy. Look. And I'll show him since I'm standing in his way.
Yeah, Dax will kind of just put a hand on your hip and look around you.
Do do you see it, Dex? It's right there. I'm perceiving this really well, and this is exactly where we need to go.
Yeah, good eye. Let's get him. Dax is gonna run. He's not gonna walk.
Yeah, Dax, as you're jogging there, you're a little bit impressed by just like how much frost was still remaining just from the trail that you're now seeing from where he crash landed, and you feel like you just absolutely nailed that ice beam because that was like your nat 20 one. And as you guys jog up to this kitsune, you see that he's missing one of his arms and that like halfway
Like
up his
recently?
arm. Yeah, and his shoulder is like all frozen and caked up. So like as he crash landed, his like frozen arm like snapped off basically,
shattered.
and he's just up
Dang.
against the tree.
Oof.
And his eyes, Waltz, because you nat 20'd, you see him looking off to the side at his rifle that is about 15 feet away from him as he desperately reaches out his other hand for it.
Waltz will just run over and kick his gun away from the kitsune and look over at Dax, maybe gesture down to him. I'll just kneel down by the kitsune and kind of look at him or her. Is it a him or her, Zach?
It's a silver fox, so it's like a handsome older kitsune.
Okay, I'll look at him
Man.
and just see how they're reacting. But I don't want to come off in a hostile manner. I'm just kind of crouched beside them.
As you crouch down with Waltz's just handsome, rugged expression, maybe with an eyebrow slightly raised, looking at him in the eyes, trying to get a beat on him. He's very sweaty, like his fur's all matted. He's still got like frost on him, and his back's against this trunk, and he's sort of riling around in pain and frustration, moves his head side to side, looking around, seeing if there's any way he has out of it, and then just realizing he is screwed and kind of just hits the back of his head against the trunk in frustration.
Just get this over with.
Relax, we won't let you die. We just can't let you run and tell everybody because seems like you don't really like us very much.
And Waltz, as you're saying that, and Dax, you'd probably notice this too, Smith is just pacing back and forth behind you. You're kind of picking up on this now. Like when he flew up and he was like yelling at you guys to get on him, and just like the determination he flew with, he didn't care that he was like getting shot. And now he's just standing in front of this kitsune and he's pacing back and forth. It's like he has a ton of anger and like angst built up in him and just all this energy. Like you almost feel like he just wants to rip this guy's head off as he's just pacing behind you guys, snorting, looking very upset. And the kitsune responds to you, Waltz.
Well, you are friends with Renard, yes?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that makes us enemies. Obviously.
Why is that?
Oh, you know why. Do not play dumb with me. Why else would you come here? You are trying to
we-
rescue this city, are you not?
Yeah, I feel like that's a good thing. That would hopefully save some lives.
He just chuckles and looks off into the horizon and then lets out a frustrated sigh.
Why do you make it sound like that's a bad idea?
Yeah, I'm having trouble figuring out what benefit could come from all these people dying.
As I have already established, we are not friends. I'm going to die here. This is very obvious.
As he gestures down to his arm.
If you think I'm going to help you, you are wrong.
Well, we didn't start off as friends, but we could sure end as friends. We're not going to let you die, and I'll gesture to Dax. Dax, will you see if you can save this fella here?
Waltz, I don't know,
Smith
man.
snorts very angrily and stomps behind you, and his feathers are all ruffled and frayed up. It's like you can
Smith,
see it just raising
it's
up on his
okay.
back.
Waltz, I don't think this is a good idea.
No, it's a great idea.
After trusting Geldir as much as we did, I mean, this guy's even less of a reason to not screw us over the first time he can. I don't
Well,
think this is a good idea.
I think we can't let him die, Dax. We'll save him, but we'll tie him here. We won't let him go back to his people. And maybe that'll give him an incentive to help us out. You know, if we succeed, then he still lives, because we'll probably be the only ones that know you're here. You know what I'm saying, friend? And if we don't succeed, then he'll be tied up here against this tree.
Waltz, you gotta know, he's just gonna kill him the moment he finds, like, this guy's not safe even if he does help us.
The little lizard friend of yours is correct. I would never betray Raul. And I have already accepted my death, because what I fight for is my true purpose.
And why are you so loyal to Raul?
Because Raul will deliver us from ignorance.
What does that mean?
You did not hear what I said. I will not help you anymore. I've already said too much.
Dax is starting to get noticeably like fidgety, the same as Smith. Obviously thinks this is a terrible idea, and his survival instinct is starting to kick in. Waltz, why don't you go ahead, start scouting out, and Smith and I will figure out what to do with him. I know you don't want this on your conscience. I get that.
Yeah, Waltz will just not feel like this guy really like deserves it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Waltz can just move on and like let that happen. You know, I think in his head it's like, all right, this guy's been defeated. We can take him out of the fight, but I don't think there's any reason to have any more bloodshed. You know what I'm saying?
You fools lack conviction. You will never succeed in your quest.
He starts to like try and stand up actually, and slowly like stands to his feet and just kind of stands there and stares at you like while he's holding the side of his body where his arm is missing. Dax, can you roll me a perception check?
Yeah. 24.
Dax, you can see that like Waltz is very visibly showing the conflict within him because you're like putting pressure on him, and so is this kitsune, and Waltz is like not reacting quickly and seems like torn, and you guys are like in disagreements, and you pick up on this kitsune just with their eyes moving back and forth and thinking, and now that they're like standing, that they are like thinking of, they appear to be planning in some way.
Sure.
Why are you so eager to die?
I am not eager to die, you fool. I am ready to die. Are there things you would die for?
Yeah, but that's it's not needed right now. I'm giving you a chance to live, my friend, and you're trying to throw it away. Do you not have anybody that wants to see you again?
You see Dax start to fidget with the belt on his chest that houses his daggers, and I would like to ready an action to throw one of these daggers at this kitsune should he make any lunge in any particular direction.
Absolutely.
I get it. You're looking for a way out of this, but look, I'm the only friend you got here. The two behind me are ready to kill you as soon as you try and do anything drastic. The only way you have out of this is if you cooperate with us. Tell us what we need to know. We'll tie you up here, and you'll at least have a chance of seeing anything that you think life is worth living for.
He looks side to side at both of you and then back at Smith, who snorts viciously. And then he lowers his arm from the side of his body where his wound is. And he looks down like he's thinking. And he puts like his hand on his hip as he's thinking. And can you all roll me a acrobatics check?
14. Technically a nat 1.
Oh. 12.
Again, that's 2 nat 1s already.
Well, you nat one.
Yeah. It's
Dang.
it. I just have a plus 13 to acrobatics.
And Dax, you see him reaching towards his belt and pull his cloak back just a little bit and then start to grab a shiny object. And as you go to pull your dagger, suddenly the ground beneath you shakes violently, and it feels like the floor just fell out from underneath you for a moment, and you all fall to your hands and your knees and then start to slide on the forest floor just a little bit. And the kitsune lands on his back and starts sliding towards you and says, "See you later." And he pulls out a grenade and starts to roll it down the floor after each of you as you realize the city is now tipping and falling from the sky.
Was this because Taryn took too long?
Probably.
And this kitsune underarm throws this grenade, so they're higher up on this sliding floor, so it's falling downwards at you, Waltz. So I'm going to roll an attack.
What is Smith doing? Is Smith can probably just protect me, right?
Perhaps.
Take him out.
Does a 22 hit you?
Ooh, that is my AC. Do I have my shield raised?
No. You're just chilling. Yeah.
Always. Don't you always? Or you
Then-
just constantly?
Yeah. Yeah, it hits.
And this grenade explodes. Dax, you instantly recognize just the like greenish blue hue that like comes from it with the electricity dancing around. It's like a Voshek style grenade as it erupts and deals 13 damage to Waltz and 4 splash damage to you, Dax, as you're right next to him. And the two of you push away from each other from this force and starts to tip as the city tips even further, and you realize you're free falling towards all of these tree trunks as you're falling off this city. And Jules and Tuff, can you also roll me reflex saves?
Oh.
Can I use the one I rolled previously?
No.
Yes.
Ah, come on. I got a 13.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 19.
Nice. Okay. Tuff, Jules, and Zoki, you have all started to fly up towards the city, going up the rocky cliffside, the inverted cone shape as you ascend upwards towards this tree line. So you're looking up at the tree line, you're still on the base of this floating island, but then all of a sudden you see this burst of energy. It almost hits you like an EMP, Tuff, and like causes you to lose control of the flight for a moment, and you have to concentrate and like regain it. It flickers back on and you're holding everybody up. And then you look up and see this city start tilting towards you and then falling at you as you ascend towards it. And suddenly the tree line like rushes towards you and like starts to meet you. And it hits Tuff directly.
No,
immediately. So Tuff, as you make your way through a few of these trees and then get hit by like maybe like the 10th one that passes you. And it is going to deal 7 damage to Tuff. And instantly disconnects you from Jules and Zoki. Jules, the momentum sends you flying forward, and you look upwards as all these trees are rushing past you, and do your best to dodge them as they're coming, like spinning in the air, maybe like hitting the ground for a second and climbing up and then jumping as they like slide past you, and you do a great job to miss these first wave of trees. You lose sight of Zoki, Tuff, don't know what is going on, and Waltz and Dax, can you also roll me reflex saves?
I just got hit by a city.
You got smacked immediately.
So 25.
Nice. Did you get Waltz?
14.
All right. Dax, after you spin off of this explosion, start to do your best to climb up this floor, but then it tilts so much that you're struggling to do it, and these trees are rushing towards you, but you roll to the side and hook your arm around a tree trunk that is flying past you, and then flip over to the other side with gravity working towards you and just hug onto this tree and just start riding the city down like you're completely safe, like you took no damage from any of these trees. Perfectly agile. Waltz, you start to realize you're falling backwards and then look back and then get smacked in the back by a different tree trunk and spin off of that, and you are going to take 6 damage as you spin around and starts to fall as more trees are rushing towards you, starting to lose sight of this kitsune. Dax, don't know what's going on. Now, can everybody roll me a reflex save?
Well, that's not good.
Son of a...
25.
I got
18.
a 14 this time.
26.
Oh, right on. Okay. Jules, as you're getting your bearings and like dodging these trees and they keep falling towards you, you grab your trident off your back and flick it outwards and stab it into a tree that's passing you and hook onto it and just start to ride it down, holding on firmly, no longer dodging any of these trees. Waltz, after you smacked your back on one of the trees, you turn around and very like aggressively just let a tree hit you really hard, but like bear hug it as it does it. You just like take it on full force as the city is like still
That's the most Waltz thing ever.
going downward. And as
Tree
you're
hugger.
holding on to this tree, you see the kitsune is not doing so well with his one arm and hits a tree trunk and is spinning and falling past you. Do you want to attempt to catch him since you critically succeeded on your reflex save? Or do you want to let him fall past to his fate?
No, I'll grab him.
Dax is like, here we go, Geldir 2.0.
Joel is here for it. I gotta reiterate that. Joel is here for this. Dax is annoyed.
Yeah, Dax can do whatever he wants to. I'm down for whatever.
I know.
The Silver Fox is too good of a name to kill, so...
Yeah.
It's gonna be the next.
All right, well,
Geldir.
can you roll
I love
me?
pain.
Can you roll me an athletics check?
22.
Are you like going for it even if it like jacks you up sort of thing? Like you're just gonna...
Yeah, let
Okay.
it fly.
All right, you see him coming. He's falling past you, kind of banging into some trees, and you swing yourself up to the other side of the tree, so gravity is on your side as well. And as he falls past you, you reach out one of your arms and grab onto his cloak, and he falls, and it just rips your arm down, and you just feel like your shoulder almost like tearing out of its socket, and you're gonna take 11 damage as you just feel your arm just like ripped, but you hold on to this guy. Your chest is like crushed against the tree just from how fast he was falling, and you're holding on to him as the city continues to plummet. Tough, you rolled a 14.
Yeah. Tough.
So you get smacked by one of these trees, and this whole city's just flying at you, and you roll off the other side.
Get it together, Tough.
Stand up on the tree trunk, and then it starts to fall faster, and you like lift off it again, and you're just kind of like float into the air, and you see more trees coming at you, and one clips your shoulder, sends you spinning, and then another one hits your legs. You flip around again, and then it just smacks you in the back another time.
Jeez.
And deals 8 damage as a tree just crushes you in the back. Can you roll me another reflex save? Tough?
No more.
No more. Please let it stop.
Oh, I got a 16.
Nice.
Oh, okay. And you're getting your bearings as you're like flipping around, and everything's like disoriented. You're like targeting in your automaton brain is like everything's just flashing up on the screen. I don't know what your vision looks like, but it's just like hard to
Calibrate.
discern what's going on. And just in time, you see this one tree coming at you and do a little spin through the air and dodge it. And one more wave of trees is coming at you. Roll me one more reflex save.
Me?
Yeah.
Just me? I'm
Everyone
the only
else
one
has
hitting
like
trees still?
critically succeeded, and yeah.
I did good.
I already took my damage.
I got a 30.
Oh,
dang.
sick.
Yeah.
Well
All right,
done.
Tough. As you see this wave of trees coming at you, your body's all dented up. You remember that you now have an extendable tail, and kick off one of the trees as it flies
Yes.
past you. Do a somersault in the air and extend your extendable tail that stabs into the tree, wrapping around it, and then hooks you onto it. And then you sit atop the branch as it's falling, putting gravity on your side, as all of you just hang on for dear life at this falling city, rushing through the air. The ground is rumbling, you can't hear anything, super disoriented. You just hear tree branches snapping and waving in the air. It's just super disorienting. And then all of a sudden you feel a pulse of energy resonate through the city as it starts to level back out and then comes to a very abrupt stop. It still has like this buoyancy to it as it stops, but it levels back out, and all of you just fly off of the trees that you're on and then land in the ground and then roll through the forest floor. And you all are completely scattered now. That was wild. Good job, everybody.
Whoa.
What the hell was that?
I'll look to the kitsune and say, I'm in a lot of pain because of you.
He's like rolling around on his back.
Well, at least you still have both of your arms.
Yeah. And I'll check on my shoulder and rotate it a little bit and,
Just
kind of
feel the bone popping.
Yeah. And I'll go check on Dax. Dax, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna look around and see if I can find people.
Yeah, Dax, can you roll me a perception check? Same with you, Waltz.
Yes.
Nat 20, which means
Nice, Daxy boy.
a 30.
And what did you get,
I've
Waltz?
got X-ray vision.
9.
Dax, because you so quickly gained your bearings during that and like were almost like unaffected by all that, you got on the tree and just monitored Waltz like in his free fall and like never lost sight of him. So you climb to your feet and start running over there as you see Waltz kind of moving his shoulder around and standing in front of this kitsune who he has saved. You saw him do that as well. The kitsune's just laying on his back, breathing all heavy with like his only remaining hand just on his chest, like, whew.
Oh, Waltz, you survived. Thank God.
Yeah, are you all right, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing fine, honestly. I'm not gonna say that was fun, but yeah, I'm okay. I'm just glad you're here. How'd you survive looking at the kitsune?
Yeah, this one here,
And he slowly sits up.
saved me, I guess. Fool.
Seriously? Waltz?
Well, you know me, Dex.
Yeah, I do. Man, I hope the guy saw what happened. We need him here as soon as possible.
Well, we'll be all right. We'll find him soon. But yeah. You got anything that can help this here? And I'll look down at my shoulder.
Yeah, I gotcha. And I'll pull out my healing gloves from my pack and put them on my hands, and then put my hands on Waltz's shoulder. That is 14 hit points.
Beauty. Oh, all right. I'll kind of like, after he works on it, kind of pop it back into place. Oh, Dex, that's
right?
much better. All right.
My turn.
You see the kitsune standing up?
I'll walk over to him and I'll just take a strap of something, maybe some like fabric, wrap it around his armpit and just pull it really tight and start twisting it and just give him like a tourniquet. And I'll pat him on the back and say, all right, that should stop the bleeding. How'd I do, Dex?
Did more than I would have done.
I'll see. That's what I mean. I'm your only friend here, so.
Great, well, I'll see you later.
And he just starts walking off.
I'll just grab him by the back and just be like, no, not so fast.
Waltz, I gotta ask, what do you plan on doing with this guy?
And I'm just
Good
going to take
question.
out my rope and start tying him up. I'll kind of push him against a tree
whoa,
there
whoa.
and just start tying him.
You're lucky I don't have any more grenades.
Yeah, no, I was really unlucky I had one to begin with, too.
It's very fortunate, the timing with the city falling.
Waltz, we should check for other weapons. We should see what he's got on him.
Yeah, great. I'll keep tying him up. You want to pat him down and take anything he might use.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Dax, you maybe just like find a dagger on him. Other than that, it was just like the gun he shot. If you had anything else, maybe you lost it in the fall, but you didn't really find anything on him.
I'll maybe finish up tying him up, make sure it's tight, pull it one last time. All right, you better hope we succeed. There, what's your name?
My name is Dario.
Dario. Well, yeah, you better hope we succeed.
What is your name,
Otherwise-
would-be hero?
Waltz. Thanks for asking.
Well, Waltz, when all of Caldora is destroyed, we will know who to blame.
And he just looks ahead.
Yeah. All right. You ready, Dex?
Yeah, I guess. Do I see Smith? Is he still
Yeah, where's
with
Smith
us?
at?
Yeah, you see Smith glide back into the trees and then land. He has like a bunch of branches in his feathers, and you could tell he went through like his own thing during that moment, and he shakes it off as some of the leaves and twigs fall off of him, and then he walks up and then looks at Dario tied to the tree, and then looks at Dax and Waltz, and then snorts and stomps.
I know, buddy. I'm with you.
I'll just look at Smith and just kind of shrug.
And with that, we'll cut over to Jules. Your trident is stabbed in the tree. You're now like hanging from it as the tree is upright again. And maybe just pull your trident out and then fall about 8 feet and just land on your feet. Maybe brush yourself off.
Yeah, I'll flip my hair back, take a look around. What the hell was that? Do I see anyone?
Definitely not like in your immediate area, but you could roll a perception check.
That is a 13.
Yeah, you're looking around and you're just trying to replay the events that happened extremely fast, and it was very disorienting. And you know that you lost sight of Tuff like almost immediately. You vaguely remember seeing Zoki a bit later than that, but at the moment you can't see them, but you would know like if they got hit by trees earlier, they'd probably be in the direction you came from.
So I can still tell which direction I came from?
Yeah, like the just like knowing the orientation of how like the island was passing you, and you were like going upward, so then just going back. Basically like towards the sky. If you go deeper into the forest, you're going away from them, but if you go towards the like maybe where you can see the sky through the trees, that's towards the edge of the island.
I'll put my trident away, and I'll start at a brisk jog. I'll start making my way back. Tough! It's okay! Can you hear me?
You jog for a little bit, and you hear,
Jules!
and
What? Who's
you look over and don't see anyone for a second, and then you hear some branches rustling and look up and see Zoki's like up in a tree, and then she scurries down the side and then drops to her feet and then dusts her clothes off.
Oh, thank God you're all right. Do you
I'm
know what
just-
tough is?
I'm pretty sure I saw him get hit by like 10 trees, like immediately.
That sounds about right.
Just sounded like a trash can just rolling down the road.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be more agile as a cat, but I don't think.
Well, let's just hope he has
Cat-like
9 lives, because
abilities.
that didn't look good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah, I suppose.
You look, and she's like a little nicked up, but she seems fine.
Well, we better find Tough as fast as we can.
Yeah, seeing as he has the Florida Vita, it's probably a good place to start.
And the two of you start to jog, and that'll bring us to Tough. So Tough, you're hanging from one of the branches, maybe like super reluctant to like release the extendable tail grip you have, just not trusting that the city is done falling at the moment. You're just waiting for like complete peace and like no sound, but you're just hanging from a branch from your tail by yourself.
I'll eventually realize that I'm in more stable condition in terms of the city and let the extendable tail go and drop down to the floor. And I'll kind of curl my back, and I guess no one will hear it because a tree that falls in the forest makes no noise, but each one of my vertebra in my like robotic spine will like clunk back into place, and I'll just go, Then I'll like kind of come to and maybe whack the side of my head and try to recalibrate my vision. And my eyes will go cross-eyed for a second, but then focus, and I'll just kind of look around, see if I can find anyone.
Can you roll me a perception check?
19.
Yeah, you're looking around and you're also replaying the events, and you just know that you got hit like immediately and are probably like pretty scattered from jewels. And you're just looking around, maybe looking up at the trees, seeing if anyone else is up in them. Something catches your eye when you just see a flicker of yellow in one of the branches and can see that someone is watching you. They drop down from the branch and land on the forest floor, and you just see a cloak with like a hood up and very dark fur underneath. And for a moment, you might even think it's Zoki, and they stand up completely upright and they're just staring at you.
Who the hell are you? And I spit a whole bunch of wood out of my mouth. Who the hell are you?
They start slowly walking towards you. You can just hear their feet crushing twigs on the forest floor as they're cautiously approaching you. And
Hey,
They
answer
stand
first,
there.
then walk. And I'll put my hand on my gun.
they freeze, and you just see the eyes look down towards your gun, but then look up at your core, still with a burnt hole in your shirt, revealing the core that contains the Florida Vita, and they tilt their head and flick their cloak back and put their hand on a cutlass that they slowly draw from its holster. And that is where we'll end our session.
Come on.
I can't believe it's already that time. I just looked at the recording. I was like, that's not long enough, and then it is.
No, it's long
Dang,
enough, yeah.
time flies.
Wow. We're super efficient
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, so Tough
Once
just
we
got beat up by a
started
bunch of trees, and now he gets to maybe fight someone. Yeah, I don't know how you think that's gonna go, but
I don't
yeah,
know
good
either.
job surviving all that, everybody, and wait for Waltz to save another bad guy as he always does.
Yeah.
Go through
Oh,
two good
come
friends.
on.
Yeah, in
It'll
season
turn out
3
great
we'll
this
start
time.
with
Dax,
you
don't
going
do
back
it.
to another dimension to see like all the mistakes you made by saving this guy again. So yeah, that'll be
Oh,
between
yeah.
episodes.
I know, right? You'll just wake up to him dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, but
he was
hold
gonna
on,
kill him.
Hold on, guys. Hey guys, actually, can you shut up? Real quick?
Whoa,
Sorry.
Zach.
Sorry about that. I know I had to be like really
Jeez, I
frank
want to
about that
talk
one.
about it.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, we can talk about
be
later. That's in the
frank.
downtime.
I like you
for
and
the
Zach. It's
patrons
okay,
who
Tam.
react to
We
the
can
most
talk,
recent episode. Yeah, so just real quick, I want to read a review that somebody left on Apple Podcasts that was like really cool. For some reason, I can never like view. Oh, yeah, the title is something like "Even My Younger Brothers Love This Show," and it was written by someone named Apple Pocket. That's the butchered name, by the way. And they said, "I love this show, and my younger brothers are always asking me to tell them bedtime stories, so I decided to tell them the plot to Mortals and Portals with a few adjustments here and there. I did rename everyone so that they could remember the characters better, so I'll tell you their names and you figure out who's who. Buff Guy, Lizard Guy, Fish Guy, and Blind Guy, and more recently, Cat Robot. And even though they didn't really care about Digby's death. They always laugh at the absurd battles, mainly Waltz battling people with unconventional objects. My little brothers are always asking me to continue the story because they want to know what happens next, and I always have to answer, me too. I love what you guys are doing, and it's very obvious you love doing it, even when Zach gets a little exasperated at everyone's shenanigans. And I love to tell my youngest brother that one of the guys that puts together the story is named Zach because you two are name twins, and he likes to think he'll be able to make stories like you. I guess you can tell people now that a 5-year-old admires you, Zach. Anyways, I love the rest of the crew too. Keep putting smiles on people's faces. Wow, is that not
Cute.
wholesome, guys?
How
Wow.
wholesome is that?
That melts in my heart.
That's one of the best reviews we've ever got.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why we do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should just hang it up. That's like, we're never gonna beat that.
Making
If you think you
jokes.
can write a more wholesome review
Right?
than that, I dare you, because you.
Should we
I don't
quit?
think you can. Yeah, we should.
I think
quit.
I'm more proud of that than the day I became a dad.
Oh gosh.
I'm just kidding, Britt. I'm just kidding. I love you. I love our children.
Cool. Yeah, but thank you so much for that review. That was so cool, and just like knowing that we can like help fuel imaginations of kids is just like awesome. And yeah,
It's
I'd
just-
be
yeah.
interested to hear that version of the story. You know, like the
Same.
kid
I would too.
friendly, like abridged
I pictured
version.
when he talked about how they didn't care about Digby's death. I pictured like old cartoons where the kids are just staring and they blink and there's a little blink, blink.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The sound effect when
Oh,
they just
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
like they're just staring. He's like, and Digby died, and they're just like,
Just
Just
Digby.
dead stare. Like, all right, well, what happens next? You know?
blink.
Thank you so much for writing that. Love every review. Again, I feel like I say this a lot. We need more Apple Podcast reviews, guys. There's way more listeners on Apple Podcasts than there are reviews. So just come on, please. Just don't be the person who gave us our first 3-star one. If you're going to do that, don't bother. But otherwise, if you want to give us a 5-star one, go ahead. But anyway,
Just do it.
just do it. And we will see you next time, mortals.
Waltz is just going to grab their gun and shoot him in the face.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding. No, no, Waltz
Guys
will
literally
jog
never
over.
killed anyone, and he just like picks up a rifle.
This guy
Look up
deserves
here.
it.
Look up here.
This doesn't count. This is a
Right
five.
down the
Called
barrel.
character development.
Yeah, I murder now, okay?
Off screen, it's like
Waltz-
Daenerys stuff in Game of Thrones. Like now he just murders people. Right.